As a matter of fact, this is a dark time. A pandemic is killing us, making countless sick, crush the economy for workers, keeping our kids from normal school life in too many places. And we have a president who refuses to lead us through it. He actually told us, "I take no responsibility." He is more intent on tearing us apart, despite it being a time that we are desperate for unity. In this context, former President Obama took a message to Philadelphia, the place of our founding, the founding of a democracy. And he gave a grave moment, a grave message. He called out Trump by name, and Trump issued a furious thread of tweets in all caps. The question for us now is, did Trump's tweets help make Obama's case against him? Jeremy Diamond joins us now. He was tweeting in real time.
He was, and that just tells you that he was watching this speech, as he has been many others this week. But this speech, perhaps, Chris, hit home for the president more than any other, because the president and former President Obama have had this kind of ongoing relationship, a push and pull, if you will, that kind of defines this moment that we find ourselves in American history. You know, President Trump rose to power in many ways in direct contrast to former President Obama. In fact, many of the president's aides still tell me today that they believe that then President Obama's speech in 2011 at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where he mocked then businessman Donald Trump openly, was at least one of the reasons that helped push Donald Trump to run for president. So there has been this push and pull, and there is no question that President Obama gets under President Trump's skin, perhaps like no other. And what we saw from the president this evening was responding in a way that is natural to him, and that was going to Twitter, all caps, airing of grievances, and of course, airing a series of falsehoods and conspiracy theories. Let's begin with the first one here, Chris, which was this notion, the president tweeting in all caps again, "He spied on my campaign and got caught." Both of those statements patently false by the president here. There is no evidence linking President Obama to surveillance or spying on President Trump's campaign. And he certainly didn't get caught because, of course, there was nothing illegal that President Obama did. Of course, the president here seems to be referring to that counterintelligence investigation that did look into the Trump campaign and connections with Russia. And as we saw just this week, of course, in the Senate Intelligence Committee's report, which is a Republican-led panel, that shows that Paul Manafort, one time President Trump's campaign chairman, was sharing internal polling data with a Russian operative. And of course, we know that Russia actively interfered in the 2016 election in order to help Donald Trump and to hurt Hillary Clinton. But as you said, Chris, ultimately the president's response tonight really just goes directly to the point that we heard not only from former President Obama, but also from former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton tonight and from many of the other speakers at the DNC this entire week. And that is that President Trump is not the man for the moment.
And look, you got to take the president at his own words, not just the former president, but the current president. He knows the answers to the questions that he asked. He knows he's making false assertions. He's been told. The FBI was looking at Manafort even before the campaign, and they were looking at Carter Page even before the campaign. Those are the guys that they were looking at through the FISA. And, you want to talk about unmasking, you can talk about all these procedures, but he knows the answer. He knows that any president coming out during a primary process would be unusual, not waiting until a primary is over. He knows Kamala Harris didn't call Biden a bigot, but he says it anyway. So, Jeremy, the question is, do you think this is just regular form for Trump, or are the voices around him saying, oh boy, this is really getting to him?
Well, look, there's no question that over the last month or so, President Trump has begun to recognize how perilous his chances are for re-election. It took him longer than it took most political observers and most aides inside his own campaign. But the president is now at a point where he recognizes how difficult it will be for him to get reelected. And I also think he recognizes the power of President Obama's oratory. And that is one of the ways in which President Obama constantly gets under President Trump's skin because of the fact that that he knows that he is not the same kind of orator that Obama is. He's not able to deliver one of those kinds of searing, high-minded speeches. There's no question President Trump has his skills as an orator, but they are of a completely different variety. They're much more of the rabble-rouser variety that we see of him so well on the campaign trail. But I do think to this point that President Trump's response tonight did exactly what Democrats were hoping to get out of him, which was to get a response, and to get a response that frankly plays into all of those things that the Democrats were talking about the convention here, that President Trump is not the man for the moment, that he's unfit to serve as president, and also it feeds into the problems that many Americans have had with the president. Even some of his supporters, whenever I go to the president's rallies, I wish he would tweet less. And this is the exact way that the president chooses to now respond, of course. And beyond that, of course, it's not just the tweets. It's even earlier today when we heard President Trump praising the QAnon conspiracy theory because many of his own supporters believe in that, and for solely that reason, of course. And so it does seem like as we are hearing this message from Democrats, President Trump continues to prove Democrats' case, as they see it at least, in terms of him not being fit for office. Democrats are certainly getting the contrast that they would like here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be anybody who sets up as an enemy to the institutions of our democracy that he doesn't want to shelter in one way or another if they want to support his candidacy. Jeremy, thank you very much. You know, Don, I think one of the interesting aspects of this, it's not just as simple as him taking the bait. I don't think he's tweeted anything tonight in the context of what's going on with this convention that is true. You know, I mean, usually it's, you know, he's spinning it, he's taking his own thing, he's taking advantage with the facts, he's being a little misleading. But he's just saying things that he knows aren't true in succession.
Yeah. Well, is that really new? But tonight, there is a sense of desperation, and even beyond tonight. I think Jeremy is. You asked Jeremy the right question, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you said, is it a sign of how he feels over the, he's felt over the last few days, or at least going into this election? I was on with Anderson earlier, and Anderson asked me about this whole thing that he has with Goodyear tires. He's upset because of something they said that they couldn't.
Big company in a swing state.
In a swing state, that they couldn't wear shirts or a tire that had political jargon on it, a Make America, a MAGA hat or a MAGA shirt or something like that. And the president is calling for Goodyear's cancellation. He's supposed to be against cancel culture. He's the one, and his party and his followers are the ones who call Democrats or anyone who's not a Republican, who doesn't get on the Trump train, snowflakes. He is the biggest snowflake of them all. And the way he's acting now is a sign of desperation. He is desperate. He is tweeting and saying things exponentially now that aren't true. He just used to do it in rapid succession. Now it's just at machine gun fire. All things that are not true. You can go through and fact check almost anything he says, and most of it is not true. He's tweeting stuff and co-signing QAnon. What kind of world do we live in where even Republicans are saying these people it's a bunch of whack jobs, yet he is co-signing it?
If it is good for him, then it is
but Chris,
good for
it is
all.
not good for him. It is good for his ego because he believes that these people support him. Therefore,
That's right.
they're going to say crazy, wacky things about people he calls Democrats and people who are not his supporters. But that's not going to change anything.
That's why he'll say the guys with the guns in Michigan who said they don't want to wear the masks, you should talk to them. But they're probably good people. They're good people on both sides.
But let me finish this.
We should keep the statues.
Let me finish this.
Go ahead.
Even his own people know he's lying. He's not expanding his base. He is desperate. Look at the polls. He's making mistakes. You do not cancel a job-giving company, a job-creating company in a swing state when you are wanting to be re-elected. You do not support conspiracy theorists. You do not support white supremacists and racists. You don't call for the cancellation of people when that is everything that is supposed to be against what you stand for. He is desperate. Trust me. And again, as the former president said, he will do anything he can, even if that means destroying this democracy to win.
I got it.